Hey everyone, welcome back to Dan's Chess Lounge. I hope everyone is doing well. So today what I have in store for you is the Albin Counter Gambit. It's a fun and interesting opening that can get white out of their preparation. Usually if someone is going to play the Queen's Gambit, then they've been studying it, they're pretty booked up in it. There's several different variations that can run like 20, 30 moves deep, so if you play the Albin Counter Gambit, you can avoid all of that opening theory and get straight to the fun, get straight to the tactics, and have an exciting game. So I encourage everyone to give it a try, if they just want to try something new. So let's go ahead and take a deep dive in it and see what it's all about. White starts off with d4, d5, c4. Now you have e5. And this is the start of the Albin Counter Gambit. And black offers up his e-pawn there, and with the hopes of gaining space in the center. And also, he's going to kind of stick a thorn into white's development. So the Albin Counter Gambit takes its name from Adolf Albin, who was a Romanian grandmaster. The opening had been played previous to him playing it, but he really made it popular once he played it against the great world champion Emanuel Lasker back in 1893. So nowadays it's seen more on the club level, more so than the title player, the GM level, but there are a few title players that have it in their repertoire, like GM Alexander Morozevich. He plays it. So there's some big heavy hitters that pull it out the bag, every so often. So let's go ahead and continue. You have D takes E. They say the best way to refute a gambit is to accept it. Now you have D4. Now this is what I was mentioning when I say that black can kind of create a thorn into white's development. You see, you have the black pawn there on D4 preventing the white knight from going to its best square, the C3 square. You also have the ability to develop real easy for black. If you see the light square bishop can come out to G4 or F5. You have the knight can go to C6. You have the other knight that can easily go to E7, then to G6, attacking the E5 pawn. The dark square bishop can come out real easy. So you have just real easy development here for black. And we're only, 3 moves in. You have 4 knight F3 here. Knight C6, this is the main line. So now you have kind of like a fork in the road. There's 2 different ways that white can play. White can either go with 5A3 or 5G3. Let's go ahead and take a look at A3 here. This stops the bishop from going to B4, which is a critical square in this opening here. If white is very unfamiliar with this opening, black can just totally take advantage of white. And one of the squares is the B4 square. So white stops that immediately with A3. You have knight E7. B4 here, you have white getting ready to fianchetto his dark square bishop and go after the D4 pawn. Knight G6, and of course he fianchettos his bishop, and he's also planning to continue to expand on the queen side. So black puts up a little resistance here. You have B5, knight captures, queen captures. It can be a queen trade, and you're left with knight capturing the pawn on C4. This is a typical way that both sides can play here. You have equal chances. Neither side is doing significantly better than the other. Both sides still have to get their kings in a good, safe spot, and they have to finish developing. This is going to be a equal 50-50 game where usually the better person or the more tactical person can win this game. But it's still better than playing, 30 moves of theory. At least now you can get to the meat and potatoes after just 10 moves and maybe get your opponent out of his preparation. So let's go back here. That was the A3 line. Instead of playing A3 for white, white can also play G3. G3 is a solid way of playing. You have the bishop going to E6, then you have knight B D2. Queen comes up. White fianchettos his bishop. Queenside castle, kingside castle. Now you have bishop H3. You're going to have the typical opposite kingside castling play here, where it's almost like a race. Who's going to get to the other king first? Knight B3. Now you have F6. E captures and the knight captures. And we're left with a good, exciting game where both sides have equal chances here. Like I said, it's going to be like the typical opposite side castling type of play here. So let me show you what would be a dream for black here, and one of the reasons why many players opt in to play the Albin Counter Gambit. White did a good job here with the A3 line and also with the G3 line. But if white does make any mistakes, it can be disastrous, right? So we have our D4, D5, C4, E5, our Albin Counter Gambit. You have D captures E, he accepts, D4. Now, this move right here, E3, it looks very innocent. It's just a move to advancing his pawn. His bishop can come out. Light square bishop can come out. Seems like a normal move, but it's actually the start of what we call the Lasker trap. Bishop B4, check. Now, white blocks with his bishop. Now you have D captures E, and it looks like black has just made a very bad mistake, right? Like, what is he doing? He left his bishop without protection. So white captures that bishop, but now you have E captures F, check. Now, if you take a close glance here, it's not really a lot that white can do. If he captures the pawn, then his queen is going to get captured. So he can't leave the protection of his queen. He has to stay connected. So really that leaves king E2. So now black has the opportunity to capture the knight on G1. But he's not going to capture the knight on G1 and promote to a queen, because then white can just exchange off his queens, and he's not doing, quite as bad as you would think. So black promotes to a knight, check. And now white is in a world of hurt. This is actually just losing for white. As long as black knows, how to finish him off, this is just losing for white. If he just plays decent, solid moves, actually, it's just losing. Play could continue like this. King E1, Queen H4, check, and it's really over now. Once black finds King H4, because what can white do now? If white decides to block, let's say he blocks with G3, now you have Queen E4 check, and black gets to pick off the rook. So if he doesn't do that, let's say he moves his king D2, now you have knight C6 hitting the bishop. So then when he moves his bishop back to protect it, you have bishop G4, right, attacking the queen. Queen goes to E1. It's not that many other great squares that the queen can go. And now you have a devastating queenside castle, check. And this is just a total mess and a total loss for for white. I mean, it's not checkmate right now, but as long as black plays some decent moves, he's going to win very, very soon. So this is a dream game and dream position for black for anyone who decides to play the Albin Counter Gambit. You want to see white playing that e3 there and giving you the opportunity to play your bishop to b4 check and go through this whole line here. So, hey guys, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, don't forget to comment, like, and please subscribe. And I'll see you next time.